So I've just seen Caroline join as well whilst we had the intro going up. Everyone's on tonight. Got a bit of a full house. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're listening on the audio experience, massively appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for lending me your ear. Hope you're having a good day if you're driving or in the gym or walking the dog, whatever you're doing. Sam says you're not been on for a while. Busy. He's not been on for a while. Busy sorting his showreel and stuff. Awesome, Sam. I mean, you know what? It's kind of like amazing in terms of like, in a way, I kind of want people occasionally to miss this because they're doing things that are taking them further in their career. It's great if you go, you know what, Ross, I'm so sorry I can't join you on your Periscope because I've actually got a job. I'll be like, sweet, because that's the whole reason I do these Periscopes, to get people moving further, faster in their career. So hello, if you're watching on the replay, appreciate you as well. If you're watching on actonthis.tv or on YouTube, thanks so much. Come and join us live at some point in the future, live every Monday and Wednesday night, 9 p.m. UK time. Can't believe it's my first time. Fraser, have you never been on a Periscope before? I can't believe it, man. You've been part of the community so long. Well, first of many, mate. First of many. It's good. I think you're going to enjoy it. So tonight we're looking at the last time we're looking at Susan Jeffers' Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's an awesome book. Before that, we'll do a little bit of sort of catch up, see what everybody's been up to, any important news to report. I was in London on Tuesday, guys, yesterday, so I couldn't do a Periscope on Monday night because my call time, I had to leave the house at just after 5 o'clock in the morning, so I needed to go to bed super early at about 9. I thought I can't Periscope, and that was because I was at a read-through yesterday for an awesome brand new BBC One drama, and it was incredible. It was like, this is like one of the best cast, the most friendly director, producer combo I've ever kind of worked with. Such a privilege. BBC will be announcing a press release of the cast in the next week or so. Then I'll be able to talk about the people who are in it and stuff like that. I can tell you a bit about the actual drama itself because that's already been announced. But the cast and stuff is kind of under wraps. There's some brilliant people in it as well. And the good thing is, and this was a little bit about feeling the fear and doing it anyway for me, okay? You know, I would go to these read-throughs in the past, and you know what it's like? You don't want to come across as a fan to these people who are like big names and stuff like that, but occasionally I've seen someone and gone, oh my God, I absolutely love your work, but I've got to play it cool. And I'd always be a bit afraid of getting them involved, you know, like asking out right there and then the first time I've met them if they'll do an Act on This TV interview or a podcast with me. But I thought yesterday, you know what? Sod it. I'm literally going to feel the fear and do it anyway. And you know, everyone I asked, literally within 2 or 3 minutes, was like, here's my mobile number, give me a ring. And I'm like, why have I not done this before? Why have I kind of like tried to be too tactical and going, right, okay, well, you know, we'll touch base initially and then I won't ask them yet and I'll send them a couple of tweets and all this sort of stuff. Ultimately, you know, the whole thing I say all the time about life will pay any price you ask of it. You've got to just keep asking. So I've got an incredible writer coming on, going to be doing a podcast all about writing and kind of how, because a writer has a big say in the casting process, guys, you know. They really do. It ain't just the casting director who brings you in. Obviously, the casting directors themselves don't make a decision on who gets cast. It's down to the producer, the executive producer, the director, the channel execs. But the writers have a massive part to play as well because they obviously have an idea, a very vivid idea of what this character looks like in their head because it's basically come from them. It's awesome, and so I can't tell you exactly who yet because I can't say the people who are in it, but we've got 3 really big names, one like really big who you'll just have seen in stuff for the last 20 years or so, one of the biggest writers in the UK, and some other people who like are people who you will have seen across the years in various other things. Tony says, love that you asked them. We were concerned it would come off too pushy asking. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't want to come across too pushy, but you know what? If you just do it in a nice way, you know, and during breaks and when everyone's actually happy and having a brew and it's like chatting, oh, what do you do? Oh, well, actually, you know, whilst I'm not, you know, when I'm not acting, I run this site and they have a little chat because, right, it came about. This is interesting. Before we start, I'll just tell you this little story. It came about because a writer came over to me in the first break and she said, oh, now the first episode has been read. I can relax now, so I want to come and introduce myself properly. And I was like, well, you don't really need to introduce yourself. I know exactly who you are. And I said, well, what were you nervous about? And she said, and she's written some incredible stuff, guys. I mean, like, massive stuff. In fact, I can tell you the writer. It's Debbie Horsfield. So she wrote Poldark, only massive drama. And she came over and she's like, listen, I want to introduce myself because now I'm over the nerves. I was like, what are you nervous about? And she said, every single time I come to a read-through, no matter how successful I've got, she said, the first episode, when it's being read, I feel that that's going to be the episode where everybody realises that I am a fraud, that I can't write. And I was like, oh my God, no way. I mean, it's classic imposter syndrome that we all have. It's that thing that stops actors when people say, what do you do? Saying, I'm an actor. Because they feel it's imposter syndrome. They're like, the next question is going to be followed up by, what do you do? I'm an actor. Oh, what have you been in then? So a lot of actors shy away from saying that because they feel like an imposter. Like, well, I'm not really a real actor yet. Debbie still, after having incredible success, is a bit like, she still feels like an imposter. And then we just got chatting and I was going, wow, she just talks so passionately about her writing and her process of what she wants from actors and that entire process and the casting process. I was like, look, you've really got to get on a podcast with me. And I go for emails. I'm just like, look, can I have your email address? I don't want to go for numbers because you feel like that's even pushier. But she was like, oh no, just take my mobile number and give me a ring. I'm like, what a nice woman. What an incredibly giving, positive force for good that she is. And she's just brilliant. So I will be doing a podcast with Debbie shortly. I don't know exactly when. That big actor and two other actors who are still really big names, and you're going to have seen in a lot of stuff. And one of them you're going to be like so fond of because she was like very much a, I don't know, kind of like a bit of a, not a national treasure as such, but everyone will know and go, oh God, it's Thingy off What's It? I remember when you were in that. I used to love your character. So I'll give you all news about that. But that for me was a lesson in feel the fear and do it anyway. Definitely felt the fear, did it anyway, had an awesome day. So to tonight's book, guys, okay, last week we're looking at feel the fear and do it anyway. In week one, tiny recap, we realised and we read about, Susan explains, that fear ultimately is you. When you say I'm afraid of whatever it is, and you might be afraid of an audition, approaching an agent. Simon on here, he had big anxiety about writing to agents, didn't know how, it would come across on a letter, how to construct it properly. It paralysed him. Simon, for how long before you sent those 3 emails today? How long do you think you were paralysed because of the fear? It's months, isn't it? It's definitely months. There's nothing, to be ashamed of there. We're all like that. And I keep saying Debbie now. Susan in the book. 20 years, says Simon. Oh my God. Not just months, but 20 years, man. Susan says, look, when you are saying you are afraid of whatever it is, ultimately what you're saying is, I cannot handle whatever that situation might bring. I cannot handle looking stupid in front of this person. I cannot handle rejection. I cannot handle getting hurt. I cannot handle losing money. I cannot handle all these things. That's what fear is, okay? And she said, look, if you can just develop the trust in yourself, and it's just a trust, to realise that you will be able to handle anything life throws at you because you have no alternative, really. You have no choice. That ultimately you never have to go into a situation wanting to control it. You can actually go, well, you know what happens because I'm going to deal with it either way. So ultimately you learn that there is nothing to fear. In week 2 we realised, and Susan taught us, that fear will never ever go away if you are growing as a person. So as long as you are growing and you are, becoming what you want to be, and you are getting better and looking for constant improvement. Fraser said this is a mega supportive group. Well, this is what it's all about, Fraser, supporting each other so we can improve, become better people. But if you are improving all the time, you're always going to be putting yourself in zones of discomfort. So you're always going to feel, fear. There's always going to be fear. So you want to take solace in that and go, you know what, if I'm feeling fear, I'm on the right path. Because if you're not, it means you're not stretching yourself enough. So fear will never go away. We cannot get rid of it as long as we are growing. And then last week, we looked at ultimately taking full responsibility for our lives and our careers and not playing the victim, okay? Because fear can make you play the victim. Sit back in your comfort zone by saying, oh, you know what, I have no choice to be here. And Susan was like, look, no matter what situation you are in your life and your career, even if you don't know you're doing it subconsciously, if you're not happy, you are playing the victim because you are doing nothing about it, okay? If you're in a situation now you're not happy with and you're not doing anything about it, the absolute brutal reality is you're being a victim. You need to drop that, and hopefully these periscopes and the content that I put out and that kind of stuff, I want to suffocate your fears and suffocate your excuses because, all that bullshit will not wash with me. And I want you to do the same for me because sometimes, I'm fallible as well. I'm certainly not the guru. I just facilitate these scopes and read to you. I haven't written this book, right? I'm reading it to you, so I'm certainly not perfect, right? So I want you guys to hold me responsible where you're like, actually, Ross, I feel that you are now playing the victim and you could do more. So tonight we are looking at the last chapter we're going to be able to look at in this book, but it's a really, really, really powerful one. It's very simple but powerful. It's all about how you can make a 100% no-lose decision in anything in your life. So are you anyone facing a decision right now that they're afraid of? Let me know. You don't mind after, if you're not comfortable sharing it, don't. But if you're happy to, let me know what it is. I read that if unhappy or depressed, it's because trap on not moving forward. I think it's procrastination a lot of the time, Si, due to fear, and it's fear dressing itself up as practicality. You'll think you're not progressing for practical reasons. Actually, it's because you're afraid, and you're telling yourself you're not afraid. It's because of you don't have the time or the money right now, or this person isn't supporting you right now, and all this practicality that's dressing itself up. So contacting casting directors without looking pushy is something that Sharon's got a decision to make about. Okay, that's awesome, because this is something that everybody faces, that whole how do I approach this person, that person, get myself in front of XYZ. Decisions are difficult when you feel you have two options and one option is right and one option is wrong. So tonight we're going to look at how you can make a paradigm shift in your thinking so that every decision you make, you can go into 100% knowing it is the right decision to make, all right? And I'm going to show you a couple of diagrams that I'm going to throw up on the screen as well, and I'm going to read you parts of this chapter. This is one of the books. I mean, we've done how many books now? We've done dozens of books on Book Club. This is one that I really, really believe everyone should buy. And there's certainly other books that we've done on Book Club, and actually, you know what, just watch the book clubs. You're not going to get that much benefit by reading the rest of the book. This is not the case. We've only had time to read 4 chapters of this. You must read the other ones. It's less than a tenner. I think it's about £6 in the UK. If you're watching on the replay on actsonthis.tv, there will be a link to Amazon beneath this video where you can click and just go and buy it now. Do that. And if you're watching on the audio experience, pull your phone out now and just get on Amazon and buy it, because you will really, really benefit. So let's begin. Before we begin, if you could share this for me, if you're on Twitter, give it a retweet, please. If you're watching on the Periscope app, click the 3 little dots in the bottom corner and share it on Facebook or Twitter. Sharon reckons she might have even bought this book on CD or maybe even cassette years ago. It's been around a while, Sharon. But the principles absolutely remain. Thank you for sharing, Sam. Thank you, Alex, my man, for retweeting this. If you could whack it out there to people, guys, the more people we can kind of get this to, the more people we're going to make an impact on tonight. And I really believe in karma in that way. I don't believe in karma in a mystical force. I want everyone to believe in karma in this way. If I show up in the world in a really positive way today and I'm nice to somebody and I help somebody, the chances are that they are then going to go and be nice to somebody else and be more positive. They will then be more positive to someone else. You know what? And that next person or the person after them could be a member of your family, your partner, a friend of yours. So I believe that karma completely goes around like that. It's not like I'm going to put this magical force out and then this is going to happen. But yeah. Be kind ultimately, and let's try and impact as many people as we can tonight. So, how to make a no-lose decision. All right, I'm going to try as always to give you guys eye contact through the camera. I'm looking at some comments here. I've got comments coming up on my phone, and I'm going to throw up some diagrams at some point as well. Tony says, "Sorry, my retweet isn't working. Any woo-woo magic? I've got no woo-woo magic to help you there, Tony. Unfortunately." What's he saying, Bobby? Any chance you're what? A brony? What's a brony? I don't know what a brony is. Says, are you a brony? I'm not one, because I don't know what it is, but let me know. Maybe I am, and I don't know I am. Multitasking, Simon. Exactly. Right, let's begin. So, okay, Susan says, one of the biggest fears that keeps us from moving ahead with our lives is our difficulty in making decisions, all right? And I completely, utterly agree with that. As one of my students lamented, sometimes I feel like the proverbial donkey between 2 bales of hay, unable to decide which one I want, and in the meantime, I'm starving to death. This is what happens to people when they can't make a decision. They literally starve themselves. The irony, of course, is that by not choosing, we are choosing. And we are choosing to starve, all right? We're choosing to deprive ourselves of what makes life a delicious feast, okay? The problem is that we have been taught, be careful. You might make the wrong decision. A wrong decision, okay? Just the sound of that can bring terror to our hearts. Adult male who watches My Little Pony. It's not, no. That's what a brony is, Bobby. No. No, I'm definitely not. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but no, I'm not a... Tell you what, Chris Stone's the director, his wife, Steph, is the biggest My Little Pony fan ever in the world, just as a slightly off-topic comment there. So closely tied to this is our panic over making mistakes. Everyone wants to make the right decision because if they feel they're making a mistake, they panic about it. For some reason, we feel we should be perfect and forget that we learn through our mistakes. Our need to be perfect and our need to control the outcome of events work together to keep us petrified when we think about making a change or attempting a new challenge. So Sharon, that might be writing to casting directors or whatever your new challenge is this week. If the above describes you, I'm going to demonstrate that you are worrying needlessly, okay? There really is nothing to lose, only something to gain, whatever the choices you make or actions you take in life. As I stated earlier, all you have to do to change the world, okay, is change the way you think about it. This concept works beautifully here. You can actually shift your thinking in such a way as to make a wrong decision or mistake an impossibility. Let's begin with decision making. So we're going to look how you can make every single decision right, okay, and making the wrong decision, making that impossible. Suppose you're at a choice point in your life, okay? If you're like most of us, you've been taught to use the no-win model, okay? As you think about the decision to be made, okay, the model looks like this, okay, and I'm going to throw up a slide of the no-win model here, guys, all right? So this is the no-win model, and for those on the audio experience, I'm going to try and describe it, okay? The no-win model is like a triangle shape without the bottom of the triangle. So you've got two diagonal lines, okay, making the point of a triangle. And at the top, at that point, is your choice point, okay? So that's where you are right now, making your choice. You've got two choices. Now, one of those sides of the triangle goes down to the words right and wrong, okay? So that's basically the right decision on that side, which means that you can make a right decision or a wrong decision. On the other side, so the other direction, is wrong or right. Okay, so ultimately, both of those decisions can be wrong and both of those can be right. Okay, there's if you make one decision that you think you go down one path that's right, it means for you the other path is wrong. And if you go down the other path that's wrong or right, I'm not explaining this very well, it means the other side is wrong. Ultimately, you feel there is always a right and a wrong decision to make no matter which path you go down, okay? So if I go down this path, which I think is the right path, that means the other path I didn't go down is wrong and vice versa, okay? So it's like one or the other, all right? That's the no-win model, okay? Now, if we have a look at the no-lose model in a second, you can see something a little bit different. So in this model, Susan says, your heart feels heavy about the choice you have to make, okay? You feel somewhat paralyzed as you think about the consequences in life and death terms. You stand at the threshold of the decision, lamenting and obsessing. Should I do this or should I do that? What if I go this way and that happens? What if it doesn't work out the way that I plan? What if? The what ifs are out in full force. The internal chatterbox is at it again, okay? You look at the unknown and try to predict the future. You try to control the outside forces. Both are impossible. At this point, you might notice you are driving yourself crazy. After the decision is made, the no-win model makes you constantly reassess the situation, hoping you didn't make a mistake. You keep looking back and berating yourself with, if only I had. You waste valuable energy and you also make yourself miserable. You gain relief in the outcome. You gain relief if the outcome is as you hoped it would be, but only temporarily. As you breathe a sigh of relief, you're already worrying that the situation might reverse itself, and then it might ultimately prove to be the wrong decision. Furthermore, you're already fearful about the next decision you've got to make because you will have to go through the whole agonizing process once again. Look familiar? Crazy, isn't it? Okay, clearly this is a no-win situation, but there is another way, the no-lose model. Okay, so we go back and we stand at the choice point again, and this time the situation looks like this. So ultimately in the no-win model, you make your decision, you feel it's right at the time, you're constantly questioning it, you feel it can turn out wrong in the end. Ultimately, it's just, you're like in a state of imbalance the entire time, okay? The no-lose model looks like this. So it's the same, for those on the audio experience, it's the same shape, okay? It's the same sides of the triangle, but actually on those lines now are the words goodies on both sides. And it says at the bottom of that, of each of the sides, it says path A, right. And on the other side, it says path B, right. Okay, there is no wrong choice here, okay? Along the way of both of those points, both of those, whatever decision you make are goodies, and ultimately it's the right path. So we can begin to make a paradigm shift in our thinking. There's a little bit of research got to go into your decision here, and we're going to cover that in a second. You will realize that there really are not really ever any wrong choices. You're always going to learn something. So Susan says, notice that what lies ahead are simply two paths, A and B, both of which are right. Okay, each path has nothing but goodies along the way. You're clearly facing a no-lose situation. And what are these goodies? They are opportunities to experience life in a new way, to learn and grow, to find out who you are and who you would really like to be and what you would like to do in this life. Each path is strewn with opportunities despite the outcome. And people are like, what? Despite the outcome? Okay, up to this point, you may have been willing to go along with me, but those three words are making you a little dubious right now, if not downright resistant. What if comes up again in your thinking? And let me answer your what ifs with an example, all right? Imagine you are faced with the choice of staying with your present job or taking a new one that has opened up for you. Okay, so you might be, as we all are as actors when we're starting out, in a job you hate. And another job comes up that you're like, actually, this could be better for my acting career because this job's more flexible. But what if, all right? Okay, so some of those what ifs are, they're all dictated to by your no-win choice point, by the way, guys, and your chatterbox takes over again. If I stay here, I might be missing a very good chance to move ahead. But if I go, maybe I won't be able to handle my new responsibilities. What if I get fired from the new job and then I have nothing? I really like it here. I'll have more opportunity to move ahead on the new job. Maybe they'll promote me and I'll be making more money. But what if I regret leaving? What if? Oh, I don't know what to do. I could ruin my life if I make the wrong decision. Okay, sound like anyone? Anyone ever been in that situation? Give me some hearts. Have you ever made that you know, you've been in that situation where it is almost like life and death? If you stand at the no-lose choice point, okay, which is here on your screen right now still, your fearless self takes over. And you've all got that inside you. Isn't it fantastic, says your fearless self. I've been offered a new job. If I take it, I'll have an opportunity to meet new people, to learn new ways of doing things, to experience an entirely different work atmosphere, and to broaden my base of experience. If something happens and it doesn't work out, I know I'll handle it. Even though the job market is difficult right now, I know somehow I'll find another job if I need one. Even that will be an interesting experience, since I'll learn to deal with the loss of a job and learn to solve the problems that might come up if I'm unemployed. I missed some comments there, guys. Write them again for me in a sec. If I stay, I have an opportunity to deepen the contacts. So this is the other choice you could make. The contacts I've made here. I really feel better about myself having been offered the new job. So if I stay, perhaps I'll ask for a promotion. If for some reason it doesn't work out here, there'll be other opportunities to pursue. It's all an adventure, no matter which way I turn. And that can be the same in a relationship you want to go into. And you're like, oh, I don't want to go out with this person because then I'm locking myself into this relationship and someone else might be out there who's better for me. You know what? Roll with it if you think it's the right thing to do. It's an easy choice, both chocolate and crisps, says, who was that? Who was Mary Jane, I think? That's the difficult choice, chocolate or crisps, to be honest, Mary Jane. It's one of life's life and death situations. But ultimately, yeah, we need to adapt more to this that's on your screen right now, this no-lose way of thinking about things, okay? And Susan says that she really does know people who think this way permanently, and their approach to life is a joy to be around. They truly live in a no-lose world, okay? And she talks about a guy called Alex that we're going to talk about now. Alex is a perfect example of this, right? He's not an actor, but you'll relate to some of the choices he's had to make, all right? He's a practicing psychologist, actually, in Los Angeles, one of Susan's friends. And he originally intended to follow in his father's footsteps and become a lawyer, all right? His college grades were excellent, and he had no trouble getting into what was considered a fine law school. He studied hard and did very well the first 2 years, but the time spent away from home began making a difference to his personal priorities. He came to realise that he didn't want to spend the rest of his life in the combat zone, as he called it, that being a lawyer required. He wanted to help people in a different way and decided that clinical psychology was much more in line with his personality. He'd already realised that part of his decision to be a lawyer was his desire to please his father, all right? But now he was much more in touch with the person inside himself and he made the decision to leave law school and pursue a career in psychology. His father gave him the blessing, but refused to pay any more of his college expenses, thus increasing the difficulty of the decision. Okay, but Alex trusted his gut and withdrew from a situation that did not suit his needs. All right, you might be in one of them situations right now that just ain't suiting your needs, but the decision to leave is shitting you up, and you're like, what if? All right. Some, including his father, saw those 2 years at law school as a waste of time. But Alex never saw it that way. By trying it out, he discovered that being a lawyer was not for him. Finding out what you don't like is paradoxically as valuable as finding out what you do like, okay? And also, whilst at law school, he made a number of good friends who remain his friends today. And the information he gathered from those first 2 years has helped him in many personal and professional situations too. I could look at my 10 years in that computer game shop before I decided to jump and go full-time as an actor and give everything to my acting career, my voiceover career, as a waste. So people go, oh my God, you know what, I wish I'd have left a decade earlier. And I could look at that, but ultimately I got so many gifts out of staying there that 10 years. I really learned about what I don't want in life, the situation I don't want to be in, how I don't want to feel, you know. And then ultimately I learned what I did want. It's just as valuable. It's 100 ways not to make the light bulb work thing. Yeah, exactly that thing. So Thomas Edison, was interviewed quite famously. He'd failed to create a light bulb, 1,000 attempts to create a light bulb, which right now, if he hadn't have invented, I wouldn't be on camera being able to see you guys, right? Well, you'll be able to see me. And a journalist said, listen, Thomas, is it not about time you gave up? Come on, man. You failed 1,000 times. You're just torturing yourself. And he said, oh my God, no, why would I want to give up? Because I found 1,000 ways a light bulb doesn't work. Thus, he's 1,000 steps closer to finding out how a light bulb does work. And you need to look at that in auditions, guys. Every no you get in an audition is one step closer to a yes. These are how some of the best salesmen in the world operate. They get targeted now on no's. It's like, we don't want you to get 5 yeses today. You've got to aim for 30 no's, because we know on the process of getting those 30 no's, you're going to get more than 5 yeses. So, Si, when you're sending your letters out, and everyone, when you're sending your letters out to casting directors, look at actually going, right, I'm going to aim to get no response off 50 casting directors, rather than going, right, once I've got 3 responses, I feel satisfied now, so I don't need to carry on anymore. I'll just leave that for a bit. Send out and send out and send out and send out and send out. And remember, every no you get or every no reply you get is one step closer to getting a reply and getting a yes. There's a book on that called Go for No. There is, Tony. Yeah, Go for No, absolutely. Told that to someone last night. Sharon said she told someone last night something about never getting a yes. But yeah, it's a really great way to kind of look at the world and keep motivated. And you would think it's completely, like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's completely backwards. But you will get more replies by ultimately going for more no's, because it just makes you more productive in terms of you're going to send more. You're going to send a higher volume of things out. Thus, your chances of getting responses back goes up exponentially as well, as opposed to going, oh, I've got 3 replies this week. I'm doing great. I'm not gonna bother. Sharon says, love looking at things that way. It's all the numbers game. Yeah, it is business, isn't it, Sharon, ultimately? So, Susan says, it's interesting to me that when I present the no-lose model to my students, the resistance is initially very high. And you lot might be thinking this now you've seen this, okay? You're going to be like, come on, man. You're not being realistic, all right? And as Susan said earlier, we've been taught to believe that negative equals realistic and positive equals unrealistic. Your parents might have drilled that into you. Your teachers might have drilled that into you. Your friends who are losing at life as well, to be brutal to them, might be drilling that into you as well, going, come on, man, be realistic. You're never going to be a successful actor. You might as well always work in the supermarket. Yeah, you might get a bit of background work, but that's all you're good for, right? And you can choose to believe that if you want, because, people think that negativity is realism. It's not. Really isn't. So she says, when I challenge my students, they can't find more credence in the no-win model than in the no-lose model. Yet the latter can move us from a position of pain to one of power, which is ultimately our goal as we learn to deal with fear. Another point to consider that is that it feels better to come from a no-lose position. Okay, why continue to resist coming from a no-lose position? Well, why continue to feel pain, paralysis, and depression? Yet we continue to do it until we incorporate into our being another way of seeing the world. Then we can slowly begin to change the no-win thinking that has kept us victimized. And that's what we looked at last week. So if you are currently a victim, you're looking at the no-win situation, the no-win model, okay? Where it's like, I can't win. So people say that to me all the time, I can't do right for doing wrong. Bullshit. Look at what you're getting from that, even if, the situation you are in right now, the outcome. This is something to look at in terms of no-lose. There's never a success or a failure. There's always just an outcome, and that outcome is what you learn from. So it can either be, it could be a positive or a negative outcome, but it's always, a positive lesson in itself. So a critical factor in your accepting the no-lose model is the way you think about outcomes and opportunities. Okay, it might be hard for you to accept the fact that losing a job is a no-lose situation. Traditionally, opportunities in life are thought of as relating to money, status, and the visible signs of success. I'm asking you to think of opportunity in an entirely different light. The purpose of this book is to help you handle fear in a way that allows you to fulfill your goals in life. Every time you encounter something that forces you to handle it, your self-esteem is raised considerably. You learn to trust that you will survive, all right? You learn to trust that you will survive no matter what happens. And in this way, your fears are diminished immeasurably. It's got a quote here. It says, the knowledge that you can handle anything that comes your way is the key to allowing yourself to take healthy, life-affirming tasks and risks, okay? So, you're always going to be capable of taking a bigger risk if you realize you can handle whatever the outcome is, okay? So getting back to my earlier example, if the outcome of your choosing to move to a new job is for you to lose that job within a few months, you now see how you will have the opportunity to strengthen your self-esteem by facing the storm, regrouping your inner forces, reaching out once again to find a new, perhaps more satisfying position. In the meantime, you'll be meeting new people and enlarging your world. Seen in this light, losing your job becomes a no-lose situation. I've often said to my students that perhaps the lucky ones in life are those who have been forced to face things in their life that we all hope we will never have to face. Things such as losing a job, the death of a loved one, divorce, bankruptcy, illness. Once you've handled any of those things, you emerge a much stronger person. I know a few people who have experienced loss and haven't felt a large measure of pride in themselves as finding a way to make their lives work despite their adversity. They've discovered that security in not having things is handling things. Thus, when you can answer all your what-ifs with I can handle it, you can approach all things with a no-lose guarantee and the fear disappears. And from adversity, you always get so much more advantage from adversity. Life, ultimately, for me, when things are going great, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. But you don't learn half as much. Tough times don't last. Tough people do, says Bobby. Yeah, definitely. When I look at the things that, real adversity in my life, stuff like the death of my dad, big events like that, I'm like, God, I'm so much stronger now, so much more capable. And it's not that I want that to happen or I wanted it to happen or I wanted everyone to have that happen to them, but I just know through that, because that was a really dark time in my life, that I pretty much can handle anything. Whatever life's going to throw at me, I'm going to be all right because I got through that. And I'm a better person because of it. It's much more compassionate, much stronger. I'm a better compassionate person for the hardships I've been through, says Caroline. Yeah, I started to use that word as well, compassionate, definitely. You're more empathy. I'm way more self-aware. It's better, and it feeds into your acting career as well, Caroline, as you're saying. You become a better actor because of the emotional experiences you've been through in your life. You've got way more emotional experience to tap into that you can then put into your job. And I said that before. If someone had asked me to act a scene out where you get a phone call to say your parents died, before that happened in real life for me, I'd have just gone with the very obvious choice of like breaking down and crying and going, "Oh, this is so terrible." I actually had that happen in real life, and I didn't react that way. It was like a complete like numbness and like, it's just a really weird emotional response that wasn't like crazy. And you see people, like when they're doing monologues and stuff on this kind of thing, throwing themselves on the floor. You know what? Maybe some people do react like that. But in my experience, I didn't react like that. And now I have that emotional recall when I go into an audition. If I did have to play that out, I think I'd be way, way better equipped. Patrick says, Ross, some people do, mate. I'm sure they do. Well, I guess it depends on the situation. But for me, I didn't. And I would have, chosen that myself. I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong answer, but I just feel that I could be way more authentic to me and what I would bring to that role, which is very unique to yourself, than I would be when I was guessing at it. And there's other things in life that I'd have to guess at, and that's, again, that's part of being a good actor, but there's so much advantage comes from adversity in that sense because you're growing as a human being. So we're going to look at just a few things that you should go through before making a decision now that's going to help you to instill that it's even more of a no-lose situation that you're going into. And I can't go over these in too much depth. If you want to read the rest of them, get the book itself. But these are a few things to look at before you make a decision. So if you've got any decisions in your life right now, make a few notes of this or think about these things whilst I'm talking about them, and it's going to help you make a decision that ultimately you believe more in, you feel better about, and you're going to realize it's a no-lose situation, and you're going to be ready to handle whatever life throws at you along the way. So number one, when you've got to make a decision, you've got to focus immediately on the no-lose model. I'm going to put it on the screen again, just so you've got it. This is the no-lose model, okay? You've got your choice point at the top, goodies along the way, no matter which choice you choose, path A or path B are right. So you've got to focus immediately on the no-lose model, okay? Affirm to yourself, I can't lose regardless of the outcome of the decision I make. The world is a place for opportunity, and I look forward to the opportunity for learning and growing that either pathway gives me. Push out thoughts of what you can lose and allow only thoughts of what can be gained. Use the exercises in the chapter on positive thinking. There's a whole chapter on positive thinking in this book. We do effectively a shitload of that on these Periscopes, but if you want to read more about how Susan frames it, you can read that in the chapter in the book. So point one, focus immediately on the no-lose model, all right? Screenshot that if you want, if you're watching on your iPhone or your tablet. Number two, do your homework, okay? So this is the part that can really help you kind of accept that it's more of a calculated risk as opposed to being reckless. And sometimes you've got to be a little bit reckless. I don't think anybody got anywhere in life and made real success without being a little bit reckless. But if you're one of these very cautious people, this next step's for you. Okay, do your homework. There's so much to learn about the alternatives that lie before you, okay? It's most helpful to talk to as many people as will listen when you're making a decision. Don't be afraid to approach professionals relative to the decision to be made. A few might put you off, but most will be happy to help. In fact, they will be flattered that you came to them for advice. Remember, ask, right? That's something that we've looked at on here. People are too afraid to ask for help a lot of the time. Bobby says a ship is safe in the harbour, but that's not what ships were made for. Exactly. Look for feedback from other sources as well. Talk to people at dinner parties, in the barbershop or beauty salon, the doctor's office or wherever. People you meet this is so true, in unlikely places can create a valuable connection for you in ways you never could have imagined. Or they might give you an insight learned from their personal experience. Sometimes when I'm facing a decision, who talks to their hairdresser, their barber, when he's cutting me hair? I've shared super intimate details in my life with my barber, as a sounding board, and I would never normally do that to someone else I didn't really know. But it's like, how's it going, Ross? I'm like, I've got this decision to make, this relationship's going wrong, this is happening, all this kind of stuff. And they're wise, man, because they spend all day every day hearing people's problems. Caroline says they know all my secrets. It's so true. Your hairdresser, I'm telling you, it's a killer way to get feedback, definitely. So ask people ultimately. Ask. Reach out to other actors. If you ever need to ask me a question, hit me up, ross@actsonthis.tv. Sometimes it might take me a week, 10 days to get back to you, but I always will. Can't because my mum says Sam's mum's his person. I talk to mine about all sorts. Sam's mum's his hairdresser, brilliant. And they give sound advice, says Caroline. Yeah. You have to find a different hairdresser, Sam. Go and spill your heart out to a different hairdresser. And a lifeguard, I know so much. Alison, all right, Alison. I've not seen you on a scope before, Alison. I don't recognise your picture. Thanks for being here. So what, you talk to a lifeguard, or you are a lifeguard? Let me know what you mean. But maybe, yeah, you just talk to a lifeguard, Or did you mean life coach, but it came up as lifeguard because of predictive text? I don't know. But yeah, Mum would not be too happy with that, says Sam. Oh, you are a lifeguard. Amazing. What an amazing job. Well done. Thank you for guarding people's lives. So Susan says, you're not a failure if you don't make it either, all right? You're a success because you try. Okay, you need to remember that as well, all right? and Bobby hopes that you don't share all your stuff, or they don't share stuff with you whilst they're drowning. Kind of put you off, Alison, wouldn't it? I'm saving your life. Listen, I've got this problem. I don't know whether to paint my room this colour or that colour. Number 3, okay, so point number 2, ultimately, was that you should do your homework, all right? Point number 1 is focus immediately on the no-lose model, then do your homework, because then at least you can go into the decision feeling a bit more secure about it. Point number 3, establish your priorities, all right? This will require some soul searching. Give yourself time to really think about what you want out of your life. So many people can tell me what they don't want out of their lives, but they can't tell me what they do want. And we know knowing what you don't want is just as valuable, but let it give you clarity on what you actually do want, okay? I shared something today about how to talk to kids about that. Praise and educate for trying, says Sharon. Yeah, absolutely, trying. It's absolutely what it's what it's about. And you know what? For me, it's not even about trying. I don't particularly like the word trying. It's doing. At least you did it, regardless of whether you won or you lost. You made that decision. You committed to it. There's an exercise I do with people sometimes where I'm like, right, try and pick up that chair. And then they pick it up and I'm like, no, try and pick up that chair. And they put it down again and then they pick it up again and go, no, try and pick up that chair. I'm like, I don't get it. And I'm like, exactly. You can't try and pick up a chair. You either pick it up or you don't pick it up. So for me, it's not even rewarding people for trying. It's rewarding people for doing and making an attempt, to actually do that thing. So yeah, establish your priorities. This is a very difficult thing to discover for most of us, since we're trained at an early age to do what other people want us to do. So you can't have your parents dictate to you what degree you do or what path you go down, or be a doctor, don't be an actor. All this kind of stuff. You've got to do it for you, which follows on to the next point. That's the most important point of all of these points, and that is trusting your impulses. Do or do not, there is no try, says Yoda, apparently. I'm not a Star Wars fan, Regan, but I've heard that quote before. Trust your impulses. Andy Pryor, the Doctor Who casting director, drilled this home time and time again when I interviewed him on actonthis.tv. Go and listen to that interview if you've not heard it. Great interview. Brilliant man, brilliant casting director. And he said, trust your gut. Trust your gut, okay? Although you might have difficulty getting to the person within yourself, okay, through the soul searching in the previous process, your body sometimes gives you some good clues about which way to go. And even after you've done your homework, talk to many people to come up with a logical choice, it's still possible that your impulse is telling you to go with the other choice. And don't be afraid to trust it. Ultimately, I think you already know the decision you've got to make a lot of the time. You just need it qualifying to you to go, yeah, it's fine if you make that decision. And remember, there is no wrong decision now. To trust your gut, really important. Sharon's losing connection. X out and come back in, Sharon. I always test the connection out by watching it myself live. I've got a good connection here. Mel's struggling with connection as well. Sometimes, depending on what server you actually connect to on Periscope, it's at Periscope's end, unfortunately. Just X out, leave the broadcast and come back in. Or if you're struggling, go and watch it on Twitter in the Act on This TV Twitter stream as well. Maybe that'll be a different server on there. So yeah, trust your impulses, guys. Super, super important. Point number 5, and this is the last point. Ultimately, again, very important. Lighten up. Just lighten up about life, all right? We live in a world where most people take themselves and their decisions very seriously. And Sharon says, I've got, not Sharon, I keep saying Sharon. Sharon, you're on here as a viewer. Susan wrote the book. Susan says, nothing is that important. I've got news for you. Nothing is that important, okay? Honestly, if as a result of a decision you make, you lose some money, okay, no problem. You learn to deal with losing money. If you lose a lover, no problem. You find another one. If you choose to divorce, no problem, you learn to handle living on your own. If you choose to marry, no problem, you learn to handle a new kind of sharing. Start thinking about yourself as a lifetime student at a large university. Okay, your curriculum is your total relationship with the world you live in. From the moment you're born to the moment you die, each experience is a valuable lesson to be learned. If you choose path A, you will learn one set of lessons. If you choose path B, you will learn a different set of lessons. So ultimately, yeah, no matter which path you go down, you're always going to learn. And as long as you are learning, you are succeeding. So I run a program that I've mentioned a few times now because it's going to launch again on June the 29th, the next intake. I run a program called Bulletproof Actor, Unstoppable Confidence, Infinite Success. And it's a 5-week high performance, positive psychology backed, science backed, positive psychology, confidence installation program for actors. And at the start, when people enroll on that program, I make them sign a declaration. And I've got mine here from when I actually launched this course a couple of years ago. And there's 10 points on this. You won't be able to see this on the audio experience, but I'm going to read you the points because these are powerful. And one of the points is there are no failures, okay? Only outcomes. And if I learn something, I am succeeding. And that's ultimately the main message of this tonight is like you can always make a no-lose decision when you realize that there are only outcomes. And if you learn something, you're succeeding. Other points on this, these are really powerful points, actually. This is lesson 1 of Bulletproof Actor. A declaration to become bulletproof, and the points are that I make people sign and date to say they are going to stick to these the entire program for life. It goes like this: my past does not equal my future. There is always a way if I am committed. There are no failures, only outcomes. If I learn something, I am succeeding. If I can't, I must, and if I must, I can. So that's when people go like, "Oh, but I can't do that." And I'm like, right, if you just tell me you can't do it, you must do it. And if I'm telling you must do it, then you can do it, okay? Life happens for me and not to me. Very, very powerful lesson. I promise to find great joy in little things, okay? That's all about gratitude, a smile, a flower, a sunset. I will give more of myself to others than anyone expects. I create my own reality. It's about not being a victim. And I'm responsible for what I create. If I'm confused, brilliant one, guys. If I am confused, I'm about to learn something. Embrace confusion, okay? And then the last one, very, very important. Every day above ground is a great day. Ultimately, if you woke up this morning above ground with air in your nostrils, today is a great day. So they're just some very powerful but simple kind of paradigm shifts in your thinking that can really enhance your life. Sounds like a great program, says Mel. I'll show you a bit of it, Mel. It's awesome. So I only open this for like 2 times a year. And it's a 5-week program. It's all completely online. And there's 2 versions of it. There's a self-study version of it, and then there's a VIP version of it where it's a self-study plus live coaching online once a week for 5 weeks. And that's personally with me in a group environment. We do group webinars. I've probably got, let me throw this browser up here. I wonder if I can show you. I've just been working on it at the moment because, like I say, it's going to launch the next intake on June the 29th. But there's quite a few people on here who have been through it. Simon's been through it. Fraser's been through it. It's taken about 123 people through it so far. And it's been transformational. Not pushing daisies up is a good day, says Alison. You're dead right, Alison. So this is the website. And you can actually, if you go over to bulletproofactor.com now, you can sign up. You can hit that red button you can see on the screen there. And you can actually get on the early bird list for the next intake of students. But yeah, this tells you literally all about the program. It's all completely online. You get 33 HD videos, about 5 hours. The live calls, Simon says, calls can last up to 5 hours. Yeah, they can. We just go and go and go. That's the whole point about giving more of yourself than anyone expects. If people have still got questions and need help, I absolutely give them as much time as we need. Some of our calls went to like 1 in the morning side, didn't they? Which is crazy. 33 HD videos, so it's a fully online course, 5 hours of content. You get all the MP3 audio as well if you want to listen to it on the go. 5 super high-depth, high-quality, in-depth workbooks as well. Access to a private Facebook group, weekly live coaching, lifetime access to the program as well for any updates. Tells you about each of the units there. There's the Zoom call that we do. So there's people who are tuning in to do the live coaching. Everyone sees everyone. It's really cool. You see everybody on the screen. We all get to chat. People share really, really like intimate, vulnerable details of their life as well. And I really respect that because it galvanizes the group so much. You end up caring so much about these people. And you make friends for life, literally. It's a little bit about me there. There's a testimonial video as well you can go and watch. That's Rachel Shenton, you'll know from Hollyoaks and Switched at Birth in America. She works a lot in the States right now. And there's who the program's for and who the program's not for. So this is for actors who are looking to reach that next level and are ready to commit to success. It's not for actors who like to dabble in success, but aren't committed to their careers. 30-day money-back guarantee. You go through the program, you don't like it. Dawn says a brilliant course. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn's an alumni. But I'll show you how it works on the inside as well. Let me see if I go to the course page. I'll show you actually if I go. This is me logged in as a user. So these are the two. They're the live coaching calls section. This is actually the program. I'll show you how it works. Just done an update on this. So all you original guys who have been through this, log back in and you'll see like a whole new graphical interface now. It looks a little bit different. Here are all the units. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, Unit 5. So many videos, guys. It's all bite-sized stuff. The videos are like between 5 and 25 minutes long. There's some bonus material at the bottom there. So we do bonus webinars with high performance gurus in health and fitness as well. But if you click on one of the lessons, you can see here how it all works. You get the video here. You've got the audio underneath if you want to listen just to the audio. You can download the audio if you want, so you don't even need to use your data on your phone when you're out and about. If I click play on here, I'll show you how one of the video lessons works. It won't play that cool for you guys on this because it's might be a little bit jerky because of it's not actually streaming. This is just a video that I'm kind of pushing through now, but you can see me here, cheesy faced Ross here, and it's literally me just talking people through 5 hours of this. So if you like these periscopes and you want to work with me literally kind of one-to-one in a group environment to completely bulletproof your psychology so you can go into auditions, well, ultimately life, you know what, you apply this to any area of your life and completely kill it. It's absolutely what I've studied for the last 10 years in depth and completely owe all of my success down to. And I just, 2 years ago, I was like, it's time to share this with the world. So did that. So check it out, bulletproofactor.com. Get on the early bird list if you want, and then you get an invite. You get a priority invite. There's only going to be 50 places for the VIP coaching because it's a group coaching thing. We can't have hundreds of people on that. We need to give everybody time to ask their questions and their personal stories and put those across. But it will ultimately let you completely destroy your limiting beliefs you have about yourself, why you're not good enough, this, that, and the other, past experiences that happened 20 years ago that are still holding you back today, because so many people have that happen to them. They're told something 15 years ago, or they have a bad audition or a bad experience, or an agent lets them go or something like that, and they're like, right, I'm shit, let's say it, forget it. And 20 years later, they're still allowing that limiting belief to kill them, and they're letting that fear to rule them, and they're not doing what Susan says, they're not feeling it and doing it anyway. So do check it out, bulletproofactor.com, and you're going to see a lot more promotion around that from me over the next few weeks. Obviously, as I launch that, the launch window will only be for 7 days. The doors close strictly after that. Literally, that's it. If you don't get in, you don't get in now until it'll be like December, probably when I open it again. Just ordered a new copy of Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, says Simon. Awesome, man. You won't regret it. I mean, that's the last chapter I'm going to be able to read you guys on this tonight. There's obviously a lot more in the book than we've read over the last 4 weeks, but do buy it, seriously. And let me know what you think of it. And if there's any lessons you take from the book, post them in the Facebook group, share it with other people, how it's related to you and how it's helped you break through situations that you've been afraid of. The Facebook group, for those who have not a member yet, is facebook.com/groups/acts-on-this-TV. Make sure you join the main website, acts-on-this.tv, where you can listen to 400 hours worth of interviews as well with the greatest minds in the acting industry, casting directors, agents, producers, writers. And like I said at the start, I've got so many great guests coming up over the next few weeks. Very big names in the acting industry. So you guys who are already members of the site, you've got so much more to get. Regan's just bought the Kindle edition of the book for 99p. What a bloody bargain. Definitely. And Sharon says, learn from tonight. Love the no-lose choice. It's so true. One last time, I'll throw it up on the screen. No lose, Sharon. Literally, any decision you make in your life right now, guys, let's stop looking at it as a right or a wrong decision. Remember those points before you make the decision. You've got to do your homework was one of those points. In fact, let me read you those points again. Let's have a look. How to make a no-lose decision. Bring those 5 points up for you. Come on. Focus on the no-lose model, point number 1. Do your homework, point number 2. Establish your priorities, point number 3. Trust your impulses is the most important one for me, I think. Once you've sounded out other people and you've asked for other people's opinions, trust your instinct, trust your impulses. And ultimately, lighten up about life, whatever happens, trust in yourself. You're going to be able to handle it. That's the key to this entire book. It's about realizing that you will be able to handle anything life throws at you. So ultimately, you don't have to control any situation you go into. You're going to be able to deal with it. Thus, you should fear nothing. All right? Except, jumping out of a plane still scares me a little bit, even after watching Will Smith do it a couple of weeks ago on one of these periscopes. Instinct is a great thing if you choose to listen to it, says Sharon. It is. Very often, sometimes in my life, I've gone against it because I've thought it was the right thing to do, or maybe this is an opportunity, or I don't want to miss out on this, and it hasn't been. I've gone, should I just listen to myself? It isn't a loss, because remember, I learned from that, and the next time I'm going to trust my gut more. It's a lesson, it's an outcome, it's not a failure, but it's powerful. Your heart, get out of your head sometimes and into your heart. Your heart knows, a lot of the time. Particularly if you're arguing with loved ones, as well over something. I say this all the time, you're in your head. You're in your head right now. Get out of your head and into your heart. Okay, you're not in your heart right now. Your heart knows and knows you shouldn't be doing this, or we shouldn't be arguing about this. We need to work through this kind of like, together. It's often fear that makes people flip out as well and get defensive. Your heart has a little brain, says Caroline. It's that whole story of feeding the two wolves. So in Bulletproof Actor, I base a lot of stuff around an old Navajo poem about this tale of two wolves. And it says, there's two wolves that live inside you, and you have a positive wolf and a negative wolf. And the wolf that wins the battle is the wolf you choose to feed. And so many people, unfortunately, choose consciously to feed the negative wolf all the time. The negative wolf gets fat and ruins your life. You need to starve that negative wolf. And the Bulletproof Actor program, we go through a load of stuff that ultimately people are unaware of that feeds that negative wolf. There's external factors in the world and in your life, everything from the news to the way you handle your internal self-talk, the words that come out of your mouth, your body language, the people you hang around with. All these things can very much influence, you feeding your negative wolf without you even realizing that you're doing it. And then they create internal symptoms that ruin your success. And if you're not aware of what those external factors are that create those internal symptoms, you're probably going to lose at life, unfortunately. You've got to become aware of those things. And hopefully, Si, everyone who's been on the course, Dawn, Fraser, everyone is here tonight, you're still aware of those. And guys, a reminder as well, if you've been through the Bulletproof program as well, you get access to it for life. If you're like, I'm feeling in a bit of a slump again, or maybe I've forgotten some lessons, get back in it and redo it. Redo sections, re-watch videos, re-listen to audio, get your workbooks out again. I always, on camera for myself, because I've done this program myself. Not only did I write it, but I put myself through it to make sure it works. I always have my own workbooks to hand. These are some of the workbooks you get, guys. You get these as part of the program, but they're all super in-depth. Oh, look at that. So there's a part of the book where you compare. It's called Pick Your Future. And there's a part where this was like the old, look at this, the old Ross here. There's a picture of me. It's probably not very appropriate right now, me in a film holding a gun. Not one for promoting violence, but this was the rotting Ross. This is Rockstar Ross when he started acting. Check the pictures out. Same person, two completely different people. And I make people get two pictures of themselves. A picture in their life where they weren't happy with where they were and what they were doing. I'm still smiling on there, but it's not called the Duchenne smile. It's not a real smile. You can tell if people are giving you fake smiles by looking at their eyes. And there's a scientific process you can go through to go, I know if that smile's real or fake. It's called the Duchenne smile. I'm still smiling, not happy there. Going to be honest with you. There, killing it. I'm in a film, it's not in real life. Do not promote these things. Guns, worst invention man ever made. But yeah, it's an awesome program. Would recommend it to anybody who wants to basically kill life in a good way. So that is the book club for tonight, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. Remember, there's no wrong decisions. Let me know what you think. If you're making a decision, let me know the outcome. There's no negative outcomes. Give us a rap, Ross. Oh, yeah. Or should I say G-Dog? So those who watch my Instagram story today, and if you're not on Instagram, get yourself on Instagram. If you're an actor and you're not on Instagram, you're missing out on massive attention. You get 6 times the engagement on Instagram than you get on any other social media platform. If you want eyes on your work, pictures, videos, get on Instagram. Seriously, it's growing bigger and bigger by the day. You are missing out if you are not promoting yourself and your career on Instagram. So I did on my Instagram story today. Your story is little 15-second clips you can add to your profile that people can watch for just 24 hours. And I was doing some voiceovers today. I've got a part in a brand new animation, and I play a little character. He's a really cool. I play this little Afro dude. He's called Bakary in this kids animation, and it's incredible. Like, kids' cartoons now, I'm so jealous because this cartoon, it revolves all around music and how important music is in the world. Everything from classical music to hip hop. And I play this little guy who's the lead singer in this group. Well, he's the lead rapper. And this was the first day I went in, and the producer and stuff, they're all from France. They'd all come over from France. Quite a lot of pressure on today. I'm in the booth, and there's all these people on the side of the glass. I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm obviously not a rapper, but I've super got to feel the fear and do it anyway and embrace this. And we killed it. It's amazing. I literally thought to myself afterwards, like, right, seriously, giving up acting, call me G-Dog, and I'm just going to continue to just be a rapper now. I'm basically Eminem from the UK. not really, but you know what? I was secretly slightly impressed with myself. I can't really give you a rap. His voice is like a little. It's kind of like. It's a little bit Cockney. It's kind of like a little bit like that. And it's like with a T-Rex crew, It's ridiculous. Part of the T-Rex crew. Yeah. I hope we've done 2 episodes of it so far. There's 52 episodes in the series. I hope I can bring some lyrics back. I've not got the lyrics from me from one of the sessions, and I will rap a full rap for you guys. I feel like your story on people who follow you can see it. Is that true? So people, anyone can view your story if they go on your profile. But if you're following people on Instagram, their stories will pop up automatically on the top, like the top of the screen. G-Dog. Mary Jane, yeah, I said that in my story. I said I'm going to quit acting, I'm going to go into rapping, and from now on I'd like everybody to just call me G-Dog. It's my rap name, or maybe if you can think of a better name. I was thinking Snoop Dogg, but Grant, G-Dog. Let me know if you got a better name for me. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. That's really cool. And like I say, I'm doing this BBC drama at the moment as well. So I'll hopefully be able to tell you more about that and bring some more behind the scenes stuff when we're doing that. What's your profile on Instagram? So I've got 2 profiles, Hipster. One is the main one I use is the Act on This TV one. Just Act on This TV. Snoop Dogg's gone for Snoop Lion now, Alison. He says he's Snoop Lion. He's changed his name to. That's insane. So I use the Act on This TV profile, which is what I post my story to every day, and I kind of post acting industry related stuff on there. I do have another profile, a personal one, which is at Ross A. Grant, and I have that on Twitter as well. I use that a lot. Instagram, I don't use it as much. I'll post pictures, but I don't post to my story. Because I don't want to have like my life spread across 2 profiles. It just dilutes it all. If people want to know what's going on, get to Act on This TV. Also, what I discovered today as well for more exposure, guys, is really important. If you're in a major city, Instagram now has city stories as well. So they have a Manchester one, a London one, a Birmingham one. All the main cities in the UK. And if you are in a city and you take a clip or a picture for your story and you add the location, so you click the sticker button, click the location one and tag it as Manchester, United Kingdom, or Birmingham, United Kingdom, or London, United Kingdom. Sometimes Instagram will choose that clip and put it in the Manchester story. So today I had hundreds of people view one of my clips of me getting off a train to go into this voiceover because I tagged it Manchester, United Kingdom. So again, you don't know who's watching, man. There's more eyeballs, more attention, bigger audience, more followers, and more leverage ultimately on your career if you can get more eyeballs on your work. So use that, little tactics there. Utilize that to get more exposure. If you're ever in a major city or you're in the center and you're going for an audition or work, tag the location, and you might end up on the story of that city. Loads more people, exponentially, the viewership just goes through the roof. So do that. Important. So that's it. How useful is that? Pretty good. Can you tag actors on your story? You can. You just use an @ mention, hit the @ button. Sorry, I had to leave. Child was cutting a block of cheese, says Alison. Interesting. Cheese before bed. Bad dreams in it. I don't know if that's an old wives' tale or not. Is this for actors? Is what for what? Alison, what do you mean? The whole thing or what? What? This scope or what I was talking about for Instagram? That's for anybody. Thanks for being here, Caroline. Oh, you're in the USA. Alison's in the USA, so it's not bedtime over there. So the whole thing. So this community, Alison, is acting based. So I'm an actor. I'm a voiceover artist. Loads of people who are watching this are actors and voiceover artists as well. The Periscopes that we do on a Monday and Wednesday night, though, although I relate them to the acting industry, they completely apply to every walk of life, every job, every person, everyone, literally everybody. And Alison's coming to the UK soon. Well, we do in-person meetups on the first and last Saturday every month. Saturday every month in Manchester, last Saturday every month in London. Get yourself along. Maybe we can convert you to be an actress. But yeah, so the majority of stuff is for actors. The community in the Facebook group we have is all about acting. But ultimately, the lessons you learn in these scopes, guys, you can apply it to anything you want in your life. Awesome. So I'm going to go. I'll be back on Monday. That's the last time we're looking at the book as well. So we've finished Susan's book. Let me know what you want to look at for the next book, if you've got any suggestions. There's been some great suggestions in the Facebook group. I'm looking at something called The Slight Edge, which is a really good book. Tony Rossi, man, you normally have some good ideas for books. I'll be in Manchester this Saturday, but an Etihad watching Robbie as St. John's Ambulance Crew. Robbie Williams, yeah, the Etihad, awesome. Enjoy that, Sharon. Well, this Saturday, guys, if you are in Manchester in the morning, 11 a.m. till about 2 p.m., will be at Home Theatre. Alison says, bless Manchester, sorry for your loss. Yeah, crazy time at Manchester at the moment. So incredible as well, though, Alison, what it's done for the city. Never felt an outpouring of love like that for the city and the people in it ever. So again, it's so horrific, but there is something. You have to hold on to the something that is positive that comes out of this. Otherwise, again, what's the alternative? Incredible the way the city's galvanised like that. Big events in the city this weekend as well. I think Ariana Grande's back, isn't she? For a tribute concert with Bieber and loads of people. So massive events going on in the city this week. Could come over early, don't need to be there till 2. So if you don't need to be there till 2, Sharon, come to the Act on This meetup, Home Theatre, just off Deansgate in the centre of Manchester, 11 a.m. till about 2 p.m. We have cake, coffee, acting chat. It's awesome, super supportive group of people. We normally get like 25, 30 people coming down. Sam says, appreciate your time, appreciate you for watching as well, Sam. Now or Never by Preston Smiles. Okay, I've got Preston's other book called Love Louder. Tony, good book. Recommend. We've done that on the book club before as well. But yeah, any suggestions for books, get them in the book in the Facebook group. And definitely, if you're in Manchester, without doubt, come to the meetup this Saturday, 11 a.m. at Home. Again, if you want to RSVP or you need any more information about that, facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. Can you post that on the group so I can find it on the maps? Yeah, there's actually an event. Carrie-Anne's here as well. Didn't know you were here, Carrie-Anne. Thanks for being here. There's an event, Sharon, in the Facebook group. If you click the events tab, you'll see the Manchester event. You should be able... Facebook's weird about how you can RSVP. Sometimes you've got to be invited, and you can only invite people you're friends with on Facebook. So we end up having to get everyone to try and cover the whole 5,000 people in the group, get everyone inviting as many people as they can. So if you can't RSVP to it, let me know and I'll add you as a friend, and then I'll be able to invite you to it. Or if you've got friends in the group as well, get them to add you to it. Facebook's dodgy when it comes to events like that. They should just let it be an open event in a closed group. I don't know why they do it like that, unfortunately, but who am I to tell Mark Zuckerberg what to do? Maybe you'll change it in the future. Awesome. So thank you so much. Just appreciate you again for joining. Thank you so much for being here on the scope. If you're watching on the replay, appreciate you. If you're listening on the audio experience, massively appreciate you. If you can't join one of these in the future, guys, if you're watching live now, go and subscribe on iTunes, search for Act on This TV, all one word, or on Stitcher.com as well, and you can download the audio of all of these scopes as podcasts, so you can listen when you're out and about as well. Thank you, Dawn. Cheers, everybody. I missed that comment there, but thank you. Rachel's just joined, but Rachel, we're finishing up. Go and watch the replay in a second. Thanks, Hipster. Thank you. All these comments are flying up. I'm missing people, but thank you. Cheers, Lucy. If I've missed you, apologies. For me, I only see like 3 of the comments at a time, so if there's more than 3 coming at once, it just pushes them off the screen, unfortunately. But thank you for everybody for being here, and I'll be back on Monday with some motivation and mind hacks on the Periscope, 9 p.m. UK time. Thank you, Regan. Until then, have an amazing time, and don't be afraid. Remember, there are no wrong decisions. Every decision is right. And if you are learning, you are succeeding. All right. Until next time, guys, thank you so much. Bye for now.